Vice President Leni Robredo as co-chairperson of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says President Duterte today signed a memorandum with Robredo's new designation. Mr. Duterte previously offered Robredo a position as drug czar after she criticized the war on drugs. Panelo said that Robredo can decline the appointment, which is of cabinet rank, if she doesn't want the post. Panelo also says this appointment is a response to administration critics who have called for the palace to allow Robredo to head the drug war. And to give us more details about this, we have on the line presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo. Good afternoon, Secretary.
Good afternoon, Ruth.
Sir, can you tell us more about the designation of Vice President Leni Robredo as co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs?
Well, it means that she will be the drug czar. It means she can do everything within the law to enforce the war on drugs initiated by the president. We want her to accept the appointment. We want her to succeed because her success will be the success of the Filipino people.
Mm-hmm. Sir, what else is on the memo? My particular, I saw a copy. There were also some directives to different government agencies. Sir, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, all the agencies under the drug war are directed to give their full support and cooperation with the vice president.
Okay, sir, have you officially transmitted the memo to the vice president?
I think the executive secretary has done that.
Okay, kailan, would you know, may information ho kayo kung kailan? Kasi di ba yung issue before, parang you were just trying to call her up and there was no formal communication or designation. So ngayon, ito na ba yun, sir?
I think so, yes. It was signed by the president, I think yesterday. Either yesterday, when he arrived, or before he arrived, or early this morning.
Okay, sir, we know now how the issue started because Vice President Robredo was apparently criticizing, or she was pointing out some of what she didn't want with a drug war. Ano po? So, ano po ito? Response to officially ng Malacanang doon sa ginawa niyang pag-criticize, and are you giving her all the freedom or to do whatever she wants, or to how to manage the drug war? Paano pong mangyayari?
Yes, because the president was thinking when she was criticizing, she must have some ideas in her mind that could effectively implement the drug war, because she was saying that it's ineffective. You know, when you say it's ineffective, then you must have some ideas or things in mind to make it to make it effective. So that is precisely why the president offered her initially and now is appointing her as drug czar.
Tapos, sir, we're also looking at the memo, and it says here until June 30, 2022, which is also the end of the term of President Duterte. Tama po ba?
Yes, because that was the suggestion of Senator Pangilinan and others who were complaining about the short period of 6 months. So the president extended it to the last day of his term.
Mm-hmm.
Kung baga, binigay na sa inyo lahat. O, ano pang reklamo?
Okay, what do you think should the vice president focus on in terms of doing the drug war? Tingin nyo ba yung sinimulan before, like the Oplan Tokhang, should she continue with that? Any directives or any particular directives from the president maybe?
It's the vice president, the moment she accepts it, that will be giving directives to the agencies under her. Not the president directing her. The president has appointed her, and it's now her call, whatever she wants to do with it.
Okay. Pero kahapon po meron din kaming interview kay PDEA Chair Aaron Aquino, and he was saying baka mahirapan daw si Vice President Leni Robredo because like si Aquino was in the police force and was in the PDEA for several months. Pero do you think she will be capable of leading the drug war, sir, the Vice President?
I think so. I think Director Aquino is just expressing his mind and basing on his own experience. But the vice president is bright enough, I think. She's a lawyer and she can hack it. She can do it. If
Okay,
she's so if she so desires.
sir, question lang. In case she declines the post, just in case, ano pong mangyayari?
Well, then it means that all our criticisms are for naught and have no basis at all. Because if you're saying the administration's drug war is ineffective, then you must have something in your mind to make it effective. If you're given the opportunity to show your mettle and you don't grab it, what does it mean?
Okay. Would you want her to continue yung program po ng administration ng PNP na Oplan Tokhang? Would you advise her to do that or?
Again, I will repeat what I said earlier. When she assumes office, it will be the one occupying that post, which means her or she or the VP that will be giving directives. She can either continue with what the present agencies are doing, or she can change it. It's her court. It's her ball.
Mhm. Okay. Sir, I was just reading your statement and sinasabi niyo po, how did the president come to this decision? Did you talk to him before he released and signed the memo? Ano pong nangyari? Ano pong pag-uusap niyo?
Matagal na. Di ba? Nung sinabi yan ni Presidente, sinabi niya na yan na she will direct or he will direct the executive secretary to write a letter addressed to her and offering her the post. Pagkatapos, they were complaining naman. So, ano. O, sige na nga, in-appoint ka na. O, ayan, ano pa? Ano pa bang gusto?
And I was reading at your statement, you were saying that you want to show that the president is sincere in designating her.
Well, definitely, the president from the very start was sincere and is sincere and is always sincere.
So with this, sir, you also said that it's a cabinet rank. So that means she's...
It is a cabinet rank. In other words, she will join us in the cabinet and she's welcome.
Yun nga po itatanong ko. Welcome na rin na po ba siya ulit na mag-attend sa mga cabinet meetings and other events?
Well, it goes without saying.
Okay, sir. So, coming from you na lang, sir, what's your maybe message to the Vice President after this designation? Do you want her to accept it or any other directives, sir?
Well, my message would be congratulations. This is your time. This is your moment. Be in the moment.
Okay. Again, sir, the memo was signed October 31. Ano po? The memo was signed by the President October 31. And then you're saying that most likely this has already been transmitted by Secretary Mijaldea.
I think so.
Okay, so ang hinihintay na lang po natin is the formal acceptance. Wala pa ho kayong balita dyan, the formal acceptance of the Vice President.
Wala pa. We'll wait for that. Hopefully she will.
And would you know, sir, kung if there's like a cabinet meeting scheduled na or wala pa naman? Every week there is.
The moment she accepts it, she can join us in the cabinet meeting on Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay. Thank you very much for taking our call, Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo. Secretary Panelo was talking about the memo signed by President Duterte on October 31, designating Vice President VP Robredo as the co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs. Secretary Panelo was saying that the Vice President can still decline the post, but that they want her to accept the designation for the success of the administration's anti-war campaign. She also says that The president has directed different agencies like the PDEA and the PNP to give their full cooperation and assistance to Vice President Leni Robredo. And Secretary Panelo was saying that, and it was also in the memo, that the designation of Vice President Leni Robredo as co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs will go on until June 30, 2022, which is the end of the term of President Duterte. Secretary Panelo is also saying that the designation is to show that the president is sincere in offering the post to Vice President Robredo, and they want to assure that everything is for the welfare of the people and that they are hoping for the success of the campaign against illegal drugs. Secretary Panelo is also saying that the Vice President has the freedom to do whatever she wants in terms of her post as Vice Chair of the Committee on Illegal Drugs. She says she can go on with Oplan Tokang and the other present programs, anti-drug programs of the administration, or she can come up with her own policies and programs. And we are still trying to reach out to the Vice President's camp. As of now, they have yet to respond to our requests for an interview. We will give you their statement as soon as it becomes available. Again, breaking news here on CNN Philippines. Malacanang says President Duterte has appointed Vice President Leni Robredo as co-chairperson of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says President Duterte today signed the Vice President's appointment papers on October 31. Keep it here on CNN Philippines to get the latest on this story. I'm Ruth Cabal.
This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Our top stories: will she accept or decline? The public in suspense, waiting to find out how Vice President Leni Robredo will respond to her formal appointment of drug czar. The ball is now in Vice President Leni Robredo's court. The Duterte administration waiting for her to accept or decline the appointment as co-chairperson of the government body that leads the war on drugs. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo says the position will give Robredo the power to oversee drug enforcement agencies and offices. These include the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, the Dangerous Drugs Board, and the Philippine National Police. The post will be for the rest of Robredo's term until June 30, 2022. If she accepts, Robredo will head the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs alongside PDEA Chief Aaron Aquino. Speaking to CNN Philippines, Panelo says Robredo's formal appointment should show her and other critics that the president is sincere in offering the vice president a cabinet-level post to deal with illegal drugs.
Well, it means that she will be the drug czar. It means she can do everything within the law to enforce the war on drugs initiated by the president. We want her to accept the appointment. We want her to succeed. All the agencies under the drug war are directed to give their full support and cooperation with the vice president.
Sir, question lang. In case she declines the post, just in case, ano pong mangyayari?
Well, then it means that all our criticisms are for naught and have no basis at all.
Robredo has declined to give any further comment on Duterte's offer pending an official letter from Malacanang. She had suspected that the president may have only offered her the post out of annoyance with her for declaring in an interview that the administration's drug war is a failure. She also suggested that the offer for her to oversee one of the government's flagship programs may be the administration's way of conceding that the anti-illegal drug campaign has been a failure. If Robredo accepts the position, this would mark her return to the cabinet after 2 years. The vice president was previously appointed housing secretary, but resigned in 2017 after being barred from attending meetings. Panelo says if Robredo says yes, she will be allowed to attend cabinet meetings again and may even join them in their meeting on Thursday. Lawmakers and government officials reacting to the appointment of Vice President Robredo as co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs. Senate President Tito Soto believes Robredo should accept the offer. This way, Soto says, the Vice President and her advisors can begin researching and studying the illegal drug problem. Soto does not think the job offer to the head of the opposition is a trap. The Senate President says instead of criticizing the war on drugs, Robredo should just help the government. Senator Bongo, meanwhile, challenges Robredo to accept President Duterte's job offer.
Malay mo, ganito gawin mo. Patayin mo lahat ng mga drug lords. Subukan mong patayin. Tapos pagkatapos naman ng termino mo, kami naman ang magsasalita. At pagdating ng July 1, hindi ka nag-succeed at hindi mo napatay yung mga drug lords, ako naman magtatanong sa'yo, ma'am, ba't hindi mo pinatay yung mga drug lords?
Study the problem, help the problem, give alternatives, and give solutions to the current problems instead of just criticizing. And never say that you should stop the war on drugs. The problem against illegal drugs is forever. It's forever. Anong 3 years lang, anong 3 months lang, hindi yun ang usapan dyan. Ang to give you a very concrete example, today, let's round up all the drug dealers and drug pushers in the country and kill them. Tomorrow, there will be new drug pushers. Dahil merong bumibili at may drug dependent. Okay, ipunin natin lahat ng drug addict. Ikulong natin o gusto mo, patayin natin lahat. Bukas, hahanap sila ng bagong drug addict because they will make it available because it's big business.
With the job offer to Robredo, Senator Baton de la Rosa says he's optimistic the war on drugs will become more successful. The former implementer of the drug war as PNP chief adds, quote, "I hope that we can win this war as one nation, undivided by political colors," unquote. Senator Amy Marcos says Robredo should accept the post since the president needs all the help he can get against drug lords. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara hopes Robredo will inject fresh and constructive insights into the anti-illegal drug campaign. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año welcoming Robredo's appointment. Año tells CNN Philippines he's ready to work with the Vice President.
Kung tatanggapin ni Vice President Robredo ito, I'm a professional official. I can work with her kung tatanggapin niya yan. After all, ang objective natin ay tapusin itong illegal drugs. Yung ating PNP ay prepared. I can work with anybody. So, and I believe the President is also serious in offering the job. So, I can work with Vice President kung tatanggapin niya.
Let's go to Quezon City, the office of the Vice President, Attorney Barry Gutierrez, her spokesperson, standing by there. We were expecting a press conference by the Vice President herself about 2 hours ago. No word yet as to exactly what is going to happen. But that is Barry Gutierrez on your TV screens. We're not sure exactly what time he's going to start talking or if he's going to begin talking right now or if the Vice President herself is going to be speaking. Staff members putting up the seal of the Vice President right behind Attorney Gutierrez. Perhaps we will be seeing the Vice President in just a bit. We're going to go back to these live pictures when there is someone who's going to be talking on camera. Let's go back to Quezon City, the office of the Vice President. Live pictures there right now. Attorney Barry Gutierrez speaking. Let's listen in.
Seryoso siya na kailangang matigil ang mga pagpatay ng mga inosente. Seryoso siya na yung pang-aabuso na lumalabas sa mga investigasyon na nangyayari sa course itong drug war na ito ay dapat maitigil. At seryoso siya na ang mga dapat habulin yung mga malalaking mga sindikato ng droga at hindi yung mga maliliit na mamamayan na nagiging biktima nitong kampanyang ito. At dahil seryoso siya dito, bukas siya ay magbibigay ng isang pahayag tungkol nga dito sa usapin ng drug war at ano yung tingin niyang direksyon na dapat puntahan nito sa darating na mga taon na naiiwan sa termino ng Pangulo at ni VP Lenny. So siguro hanggang doon na lang muna. May questions pa? Yes.
Hi sir, Marasitay ako from Rapper.
Okay, hindi kita kilala. Okay.
So the Vice President is not accepting the position being offered by the President as co-chair of ICAP. Hindi niya po tinatanggap.
At this point, tingin namin kasi ang usapan hindi yung pagtanggap ni VP Leni o hindi. We have to remember that the VP never asked for an appointment. It was the President who raised it in the first place. It is the President who has been leading yung drug effort for the past 3.5 years. And even with this appointment, clearly, it's still the President that will actually be calling the shots. Walang power itong co-chair ng ICAD, even granting that that position will be created sometime in the future. Dahil ngayon, hindi siya nag-exist. Ina-appoint siya to a non-existent position. So, on that note, we're not yet responding to yung letter, but tomorrow she'll be giving a statement, not just on yung issue of the appointment, but more clearly on yung directions that she thinks the drug war should take, specific recommendations to the palace. Dahil alahanin natin, dito naman nagsimula itong usapang ito eh. Okay, nagsalita si VP Leni tungkol dun sa mga tingin niyang pagkukulang dito sa drug campaign. At ang naging response ng palasyo, aside from dismissing yung kanyang mga sinabi, ay biglang-bigla merong ganitong klaseng offer. Tingin namin palabas ito eh. Diba? And hindi ito seryoso, ito ay pamumulitika. And we don't want to be caught in that. We would rather focus on yung importanteng issue, which is paano ba natin maaayos ito para matigil yung mga pagpatay ng mga inosente? Paano ba natin maaayos ito para yung mga totoong malalaking mga operator ng drugs, yun yung mga mahuli?
Sir, one of the Vice President's party mate in the Liberal Party, si Congressman Lagman, said that by offering his position to the Vice President, the President is setting her up for failure. Is that among the apprehensions of the VP and her advisors during the meeting that you had earlier?
Well, to begin with, klaruhin natin, yung drug war clearly has been a failure on several levels already. Okay? Yung paglabas pa lang over the past few weeks ng mga investigasyon into yung mga ninja cops, na klaro that there have been abuses that have taken place in the context of the drug war. The fact that a majority of Filipinos fear na maging biktima sila ng extrajudicial killings. The fact that there have been innocents killed here. Meron talagang indications that there is a failure. And we think that attempting to pass on the failures of the past 3.5 years to the Vice President, medyo hindi naman yata kami basta mauupo at tatanggapin yun. Diba? Hindi kami ang nangako na ayusin yung problema ng droga in 6 months. Tapos, in a day, i-expect na kami ang aayos ng lahat ng ito. Parang feeling ko naman na mali yata yung nagiging focus ng Malacanang kung ganun ang kanilang intention dito.
So, undecided pa si VP and bakit tumatagal yung decision niya?
Actually, hindi desisyon ang tumatagal. Ang piniprepare na yun dito, yung kanyang mga proposals na i-present bukas. Okay? Kasi, to be clear, the Vice President started this entire conversation when she said that she had certain observations regarding shortcomings dun sa, in the way that the war on drugs was being waged. Okay? So, ang nag-raise ng issue na, mag-appoint ka, maupo ka dyan, si Presidente. Hindi naman si VP Leni yung humingi ng posisyon dito. So, that's what she is focusing on. So, tomorrow, that is what will be presented. Specific recommendations to the President as to what should be done in order to address yung mga failings ng current campaign.
So, proposals as Vice President, or as co-chair?
Well, proposals...
Attorney Barry Gutierrez there parrying questions about whether or not Vice President Leni Robredo will accept that offer or that job offer from President Duterte. Tomorrow, Gutierrez says the Vice President will be issuing a statement in which he will talk about the directions the drug war should take in her view. But Gutierrez did drop very broad hints about what they think about the President's offer. For one, he said that even if Vice President Robredo will accept that position, Gutierrez was saying that the President will still call the shots and that the position that the President appointed the Vice President to has no powers. And he also said, and we quote, "We don't want to get caught in that." and that he thinks that this is attempting, quote, attempting to pass on the failures of the drug war. Gutierrez also made reference to the promise that President Duterte made very early on at the beginning of his term, where he said that he promised to that he could solve the drug problem in 3 to 6 months. So there, no exact word from the spokesperson of the Vice President as to how she is going to, whether she will accept or decline this offer of a job from President Duterte. But like we said, Barry Gutierrez, our spokesperson, dropping very broad hints about where the announcement, what direction that announcement is going to take tomorrow. And that is it for tonight. 50 days na lang before Christmas. It's Politics as Usual at 7. I'm Pia Ontiveros.
Is making headlines. Will she accept or decline? President Duterte issues her formal appointment as drug czar, and Vice President Leni Robredo bids for time to respond. Her spokesperson says a formal statement will be released tomorrow. Good evening, I'm Ida Rodriguez. Welcome to the newsroom. The ball is now in the Vice President's court. The Duterte administration waiting for Leni Robredo to accept or decline the appointment as a co-chairperson of the government body that leads the war on drugs. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo says the position will give Robredo the power to oversee drug enforcement agencies and offices. These include the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, the Dangerous Drugs Board, and the Philippine National Police. The post will be for the rest of Robredo's term until June 30, 2022. If she accepts, Robredo will head the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs alongside PDEA Chief Aaron Aquino. Speaking to CNN Philippines, Panelo says Robredo's formal appointment should show her and other critics that the president is sincere in offering the vice president a cabinet-level post to deal with illegal drugs.
Well, it means that she will be the drug czar. It means she can do everything within the law to enforce the war on drugs initiated by the president. We want her to accept the appointment. We want her to succeed. All the agencies under the drug war are directed to give their full support and cooperation with the vice president.
Sir, question lang. In case she declines the post, just in case, ano pong mangyayari?
Well, then it means that all our criticisms are for naught and have no basis at all.
The Vice President's spokesperson refusing to directly answer whether or not Robredo would accept the appointment. In a media briefing earlier this evening, Robredo spokesperson Barry Gutierrez did speak up about the offer. He says the appointment proves there were shortcomings in the administration's campaign against drugs, which President Duterte promised to solve in 6 months. Gutierrez adds the Vice President will be issuing a statement about her recommendations on the drug war tomorrow.
We feel that yung buong context, kasama na siyempre doon yung legal shortcomings, establishes na parang hindi seryoso ito hindi seryoso itong offer na to. This was clearly just a way to attempt to pass off yung mga pagkukulang nitong drug war kay VP Leni. When in fact, hindi naman siya ang may 3.5 taon nang nakaupo dyan para itutukan to. Hindi siya ang nangako na 6 na buwan matatapos itong drug war na ito.
Gutierrez adds the appointment is not serious as the executive order, which created the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs, does not provide for a co-chairperson. But Malacanang says Gutierrez is wrong. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo adds President Duterte has the continuing authority to reorganize the government. Lawmakers and government officials reacting to the appointment of Vice President Robredo as co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs. Senate President Tito Soto believes Robredo should accept the offer. This way, Soto says, she and her advisors can begin researching and studying the drug problem. Soto also does not think the job offer to the head of the opposition is a trap. He says instead of criticizing the drug war, Robredo should just help the government. Senator Bongo, meanwhile, challenges Robredo to accept the president's offer.
Malay mo, ganito gawin mo. Patayin mo lahat ng mga drug lords. Subukan mong patayin. Tapos pagkatapos naman ng termino mo, kami naman ang magsasalita. At pagdating ng July 1, hindi ka nag-succeed at hindi mo napatay yung mga drug lords, ako naman magtatanong sa'yo, ma'am, ba't hindi mo pinatay yung mga drug lords?
Study the problem, help the problem, give alternatives, and give solutions to the current problems instead of just criticizing. And never say that you should stop the war on drugs. The problem against illegal drugs is forever. It's forever. Anong 3 years lang, anong 3 months lang, hindi na usapan dyan. To give you a very concrete example, today, let's round up all the drug dealers and drug pushers in the country and kill them. Tomorrow, there will be new drug pushers. Dahil merong bumibili at may drug dependent. Okay, ipunin natin lahat ng drug addict. Ikulong natin o gusto mo, patayin natin lahat. Bukas, hahanap sila ng bagong drug addict because they will make it available because it's big business.
With a job offer to Robredo, Senator Bato de la Rosa says he is optimistic the war on drugs will be more successful. The former drug war chief implementer adds, and we quote, "I hope that we can win this war as one nation, undivided by political colors," unquote. Senator Amy Marcos says Robredo should accept the post since the president needs all the help he can get against drug lords. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara, meanwhile, hopes Robredo will inject fresh and constructive insights into the anti-drug campaign. Former Senator Sonny Trillanes, on the other hand, discourages Robredo from accepting the post, saying it's merely a political distraction. He explains Robredo won't be able to do anything as co-chairperson because her decisions will still have to be approved by President Duterte. Trillanes says if the offer is to give her full authority, then he would recommend that she accepts the post.
I see it as a political distraction. Walang value yan, itong offer na to as it is. Sabi ko nga, kailangan buong-buo yung authority na ibibigay dapat. Ginagawang issue lang para may mapag-usapan na media at hindi ma-discuss yung mga kapalpakan niya. Pang-distract lang, paglalaruan lang siya. Di ba? At hindi naman siya yung issue dito. Ang issue dito yung nakaraang approach ni Duterte for the past 3 years. Yung ginagawang na polisiya ngayon, it's a crime against humanity. So kailangan palitan yon. Kaya nga, baka nga kung sumama pa dyan si Vice President Leni, idadamay pa siya dito sa kaso, sa crimes against humanity.
And that's the newsroom tonight. It's 50 days before Christmas. Thanks for watching. I'm Maya Rodriguez. Good evening.